22-year-old Triston Casas, one of, I think, the most solid prospects in baseball. I think this guy is solid. Will you confirm that with stats for me?
Yeah. Happy to share Casas's stat lines. So in 2022, as a 22-year-old, Casas hit at AAA 281 with a 389 OBP and a 500 slugging percentage. He hit 12 home runs and finished with an 889 OPS. The thing is, with this guy, I'm never blown away by his statistical production.
Nope.
But it has been consistent every year of his career, solid and consistent, with decent power. I've come around on him a little bit because I was a little lower on this guy in 2021 and a little bit before that. Like he was getting a lot of hype, and I was just kind of like, I don't see what people see in this guy. Like the numbers don't pop to me, and they still don't.
Nope.
But he's a big guy. He's a big physical specimen, and Scout the Statline loves his numbers anyway. It's weighing multiple years of data, and there's been a lot of consistency in there. And he's continued to hover up near the higher rungs of our rankings. And he got a cup of coffee at 22 years old. So I've had to change my perspective on this guy, and I think he's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe Triston Casas, is solid. I don't think he's ever going to hurt you. He's just going to be straight across the board. This is a terrible comp for Triston Casas, but man, does he remind me of Andrew Benintendi. He's never going to hurt you. Like it's just going to be this flat line of solid play. And yeah, Benintendi had that one great year for the Red Sox. But yeah, it's just going to be this solid production.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Nothing pops to me, but like the numbers are consistently productive across the board. He gets scout grade equivalencies of 55 for hit, which is above average, and 55 for power, which is above average. The run piece, not worth mentioning, but at first base, We're not really too concerned with that in general. Solid walk rates and not very high strikeout rates. And there's a lot of projection, I think, involved with him, generally speaking. So you see him typically ranked pretty highly in most scout lists, and a lot of that has to do with projecting his physical capabilities. So if that's the case, and the stats are saying he's better than you think, Ross, then he probably is better than I think.
I think this is a plug and play player. I think you grab him in your fantasy league and he sits on your first base, and you're always thinking about moving him. You're always like, man, I don't know. I think I'm going to move him because I can get value out of him, but he's never hurting you. And he's going to have those seasons where he goes berserk. And then next season, it's still decent. And then next season, it's berserk. He's going to be.
Well, that kind of flies in the face of what we've been saying, right? Where it's very consistent production.
Yep.
You think that the floor is always going to be there.
Yep.
But the ceiling might be a little unpredictable.
Yeah, he's going to spike. He's going to spike from year to year, but never hurt you. I don't want to say that he's going to dip real hard one season or anything like that. It's going to be solid. It's going to be solid. Spike. Solid, spike.
Well, in that case, I would say if you want to invest in this guy, that you want to buy him for what you think his floor is, and then appreciate the ceilings, the spikes when you get them. That's what I would say for a player like that. If I could see the future and I knew what you were saying is the truth, that's how I would play with that guy.
What is the comp on Scout the Statline for Triston Casas?
It's not a really favorable comp. It's Geronimo Baroa. Do you know Geronimo Barroa?
I don't think I do.
He had solid career numbers, 36 home runs one season. So this is actually interesting as a comp because, as I was saying, solidly consistent, pretty good. And I'm looking at Geronimo Barroa's stats, and I'm like, those are a lot better than I remember. So maybe that's the key. Is there's something I missed in these guys, and that's what
Is
I'm reading.
is there
Over there.
spiky seasons, kind of how I was describing it?
He was just very solid from 1994 to 1997. During those 4 seasons, he had a 288 batting average, 359 OBP, and 485 slugging percentage, 97 home runs. That's a pretty good peak. That's a
Yeah.
pretty solid peak. That's just an interesting one.
My advice on Triston Casas is if you like to not have to turn and burn your lineup every single day, this is going to be your player.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and of course, visit our website, scoutthestatline.com for more.